Well, I never thought I'd live to see the day. Not only has a bathroom sign become a political statement, it's become art. Tonight, our conversation with local artist David Maxwell and his very unique bathroom signs, Anybody and Who Cares. How are you? Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
So,
thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Thanks for your art. Where'd you get the idea?
So I had been spending some time sort of after getting out of my last job, working on some projects, and had worked on a fashion project that was supposed to not consider really gender as you started sort of declaring whatever you wanted to wear, whereas nowadays you kind of have to walk into a men's section or a women's section. And that idea sort of transformed and has mutated into sort of this bathroom sign that is a bigger political statement around how I believe bathrooms should look.
Right, so you've got anybody and who cares.
Yeah, so the first one is sort of who cares. It doesn't really matter. When you sit down and you think about it, I think empathy is really, really important here. And what may seem frivolous or very small for some people is a really, really big deal for others.
Let's talk about that. You talk about empathy a lot in the talking points you sent us. It has struck me a lot over the last year that the thing missing most in our political dialogue is empathy.
Yeah, I think everyone was very quick to make a lot of judgments around the last sort of election cycle. And if we had taken more time to really approach people at their beliefs and work them into a belief system that was more inclusive of everyone, it would work a lot better than just sort of flat out telling people they're wrong or you're stupid for not understanding. Cause
so you think that,
I think it took a lot of time for me to understand these concepts. And I think now we sort of expect that once you've become woke and understand these things, everyone needs to.
So do you see it as both a Democratic and a Republican issue? We need to have those of us who maybe didn't vote for Donald Trump need to have empathy for those who did, and those who did vote for Donald Trump need to have empathy with the rest of us who feel like we just had our heads cut off?
Yeah, I think so. I think it would help all of us. I think at the moment it feels pretty divided, and I don't think that's what this country really stands for. I think when you take the time to really approach people and learn about their story and hear what they're going through, it makes a lot more sense when people are struggling and lashing out in ways that may seem very hurtful or targeted to a specific group, when in reality they're just hurting and going through something themselves.
Right. What was your experience of the election, and how will it affect your art?
I think it was pretty shocking for me, to be honest. I think the way the dialogue had been discussing the election, it didn't seem like it was going to go in this direction. So I think there was a privilege I had in the space that I was communicating that allowed me to believe that things were going to go a certain way. I think my art is going to consider the fact that when everyone's thinking one way and not really considering the full picture, you kind of can miss things. So really taking the time to approach every concept that's out there and not really get stuck in the same headspace or echo chamber of ideas.
Where do you, I mean, how old are you, if I may ask?
25.
So where does a 25-year-old go versus a 55-year-old for news?
I go a lot of different places. I hear news from my friends on the internet. Twitter's a big sort of spot where I'm kind of reading that like a stock ticker. So every sort of headline that comes in, I kind of digest and then take the time to sort of try to understand probably later on a little bit. And then I go to trusted news sources. Sometimes it can be hard to differentiate those on the internet, but you can kind of look at who's writing the story, and some of the newscasters tend to have stronger points and beliefs that I understand, and their sources are just more trusted, so I tend to stick with those.
Do you believe your generation is going to be more political or less political than, say, my generation?
I'm not sure. I think my generation is more connected than ever to everyone else. So it's easy to put yourself in a very singular headspace if you want to, but I think if you want to go get politically involved, there's really a way to do that. One of my favorite musical artists is Chance the Rapper, and he's set like a very amazing sort of record of how he's gone out there, inspired the youth, taken people to go voting, not with a specific stance, just the fact that people need to be out there thinking about these things. He's done it all very independently, and I kind of look up to people like that and see those as the people who really care, and I hope our generation goes in that direction. But
great. Well, I hope so too. We've only got just 10 seconds left. Are you hopeful about the next 4 years?
Yeah, I think so. I think we're going to see some rights taken away and some crazy stuff happen, and it won't be great in some respects, but in others, I think that'll be invigorating and very sort of motivational for a lot of people to really get out there.
Well, here's to hope.
Yeah.
We've been speaking with artist David Maxwell. I'm David Perry. Thanks for watching 10%. We'll see you next week.